Hey guys.
Okay, consider this Christmas now, or consider this my Christmas present. This was going to be a ramble, so no script, I'm just talking out of my ass practically. I have watched now every episode of Hawkeye, and maybe because Hawkeye is my favorite character, I like the show a lot. Jeremy Renner gives real depth to his character, which we haven't really seen in the previous Avengers movies, and it's good that they took their time to establish and flesh out the Hawkeye character more, which they couldn't do before. Although it's similar to how Black Widow, it comes a little bit too late. The introduction of Kate Bishop works really well. Haley Steinfeld is always a gem, especially when she gets to work with older, more established actors. You know, there's a real chemistry. She showed already in True Grit or The Edge of 17 that she bounces well off with older actors. I haven't really seen her solo stuff like Dickinson or Bumblebee, but here it's great to see, and she isn't too much of a diversion from the comic character. And she is also not a Mary Sue, you know. She is very good at archery and fighting, but you see her oftentimes hurting herself while landing and crashing and not doing stuff as gracefully as Hawkeye. And I think that really drives the show, the chemistry between Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld. The story is also quite good, although, like I said before, in other Marvel shows, pacing, it goes a little bit too fast, but here they have it more nailed down than in previous shows. Despite being at only 6 episodes, it feels more consistent and earnest than, let's say, Loki. As you know, the other 2 Marvel shows before that, Falcon and WandaVision, had both 9 episodes. Loki and Hawkeye only have 6 episodes. But yeah, in times of Marvel fatigue, this felt fresh and intuitive. Also, I gotta say, Alakra Cox, who plays Echo, aka Maya Lopez, is really great. Despite being a deaf actress and having prior to Hawkeye no acting job, you know, this was truly a breakout for her, and she shows a wide array of emotions as Echo, and also comes out great, you know, in her fighting scenes. Now, as I've seen for the show, she has also a prosthetic leg, and that's not a thing that the Echo character has, but I feel like it adds in the show more to the character that Alakra Cox is actually one-legged and has a prosthetic leg, and it just proves how far you can go. You know, the whole point of the Hawkeye show is that everybody can be a hero, and Hawkeye is the right character to do that. You know, Hawkeye is just a normal guy. He doesn't have any special abilities. The only thing he truly has is his talents, you know, that being an exceptional fighter and marksman. And that's what I always liked about Hawkeye. Also his brash attitude in the comics, which is more mellowed in the movies and hasn't been a thing for years now in comics, sadly. But when it originally came down to Hawkeye, he was much more a brash guy like Guy Gardner. So seeing that is just very relatable, you know, and that even though you don't have any abilities, you can still inspire people. Yeah, and that's overall a great message. And also the performance by Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is as always great. The appearance was brief but very memorable in the final. It was also interesting to see how he carries over into the Disney show and what makes or drives his character, you know. Although we haven't seen so far, it's possible that we get more of that version of Kingpin in the Echo solo series. Then Kate Bishop has been my favorite. She stands on an equal level for me as the original Hawkeye. How they dealt with the whole Ronin thing was also nice. I mean, I haven't watched, or I watched Endgame, but I don't remember anything about that movie. And luckily, this doesn't add too much in it. Other things worked just as well, you know, like the inclusion of Swordsman, alias Jacques, who was in the comics Hawkeye's mentor and trainer. It would be nice to see also Hawkeye's brother, maybe in the second season or anything like that. Overall, what really worked is just the chemistry between all the characters and how they wrap up previously established things. And then there's Florence Pugh, who plays again Yelena Belova, Natasha Romanoff's younger sister, and she's an absolute scene stealer. She and Haley Steinfeld together are probably the best scenes in the whole show, which says a lot to the detriment of their performances and how they carry. And I mean, they both are supposed to carry the mantles over for the next films, you know. There's no way that Jeremy Renner will do it again, will do it for 10 more years or stuff like that. So this is a really passing of the torch moment, and you didn't really have that in the Black Widow movie, but I mean, Scarlett Johansson is out of the picture too. So this here felt more like a passing of the torch to Florence Pugh, alias Yelena. And there's a better stepping stone for establishing how the next movies are going to go. Still have to see Spider-Man No Way Home and The Eternals, but any review about that is going to be next year, not this year anymore. For the rest of this time I want to just settle down, have some peace, not worry about any creative work. And yeah, there's some bad stuff, of course. I mentioned before the pacing, which is still an issue, but it's still a lot better than previous. Some effects don't look quite as good, and also, sorry, Vera Farmiga, an actress of that caliber, was simply wasted in a show, that's my opinion. It's not necessarily a bad performance by her, it's just that the character isn't fleshed out that much to justify casting Vera Farmiga. I mean, she plays Kate Bishop's mother and they have a good bond. Like I said, Haley Steinfeld bounces well off with all the actors, and this is felt here too, but it's just a little bit too little for her, you know. This role could have been filled by a lesser known actress, and I mean, Allegra Cox is a newcomer and gave a standout performance, and for someone like Vera Farmiga, this was just not enough to work off. What I also liked is that the show didn't really have a main villain. Sure, it had Kingpin, but it were multiple villains and it was more about the characters itself. And yeah, honestly, there isn't too much that I didn't like about it, you know. The action was mostly well shot and more coherent than, let's say, Shang-Chi. And I have to compare it to something else, you know. In terms of quality, the action was quite well and showed enough and was not jumpy on anything like that. Overall, I can give it an 8 out of 10 because I really enjoyed Hawkeye. Maybe it's just because I really like the characters of Clint Barton and Kate Bishop. There isn't too much missed opportunity, I believe. And well, there is one kind of that is the whole MacGuffin that sets up the plot, which is more of a wink to the audience. You know, in the beginning, the tracksuit mafia tries to steal a watch, and we never get to learn why they want to steal a watch. We get later why the watch is important, but not why they wanted to steal it. Maybe they're setting something up, I don't know, but the reveal was more of a wink to the audience because it reveals that Clint Barton's wife is an agent, something many theorists had already predicted. Okay, I'm gonna stop now talking and we see us next time. Have a good day and a nice Christmas. Bye.
Well, the books are full of words that you read, and the show gets me paid.